Hello, welcome to another grief share video. Today I'm going to be talking about some of the issues that I've dealt with, kind of more of in a specific area. I've struggled with jobs, trying to get a job most of my life. I've struggled with keeping a job as well, um, but it's kind of different reasons. Um, so this week I was trying to get a job again, and again I've kind of talked about it a little bit where you know. I just ever since I got married, I've been trying to get a job that I'm, I guess, more satisfied with. But like, the more I change, the more I realize the type of job that I really want, or more of what I'm looking for. And I don't know why, but it seems harder to find. It's, I mean, there's so many different things. Like, uh, I've actually been more trying to find a job in security. And I realized when me and my husband moved to a house about a year ago, that I really wanted to have like uh, a security job driving a car, and that's really something that they have more in a big city. And we ended up moving to a small city, so to get a job like that, I would have to drive like 35 minutes or more, and I just don't want to drive um, a long way to work anymore. I've done that in my past, and I just don't want to do it anymore. So, so there's little things like that that kind of influence, the problems that I have getting a job. But there's also physical problems and mental problems that I have. I struggle with clinical depression. I have OCD, and I get really bad headaches, sometimes migraines. So, well, I also have, I get knots in my back as well, and so I just those few things alone make it really hard to work. And so if I am able to get a job that I'm actually okay with, which is hard enough in itself, I end up having a lot of trouble keeping the job. Um, but with all the issues that I've ran into, I try I try not to um, interview for jobs very often. I try not to really look for jobs because it's so disappointing for me and stuff. And and every now and then I'll just get to a place where I guess I'm ready to try again. But it's usually not more than one or two jobs I interview for a year. It's gotten so difficult for me. Um, but I tried to get another job this year, and this past week I went and tried to interview for another job. And I mean, there's just a lot of frustration to it. Like, you know, I feel like I've been doing a little bit better with my mental health, and gotten things to a place where maybe it's possible that I can work. Um, but I went in to interview for this job. I had I had applied for a specific job on the website, but when I went in to interview, they told me that you have to start in a different position in the company to get to the one that I had applied to. And I mean, I think that was just really frustrating um to find out that like it was I could even apply, well, I couldn't get the job that I actually applied for, and it was kind of confusing, but not exactly surprising. Like, and what I mean by that is like I've ran into a lot of like questionable and I guess shady things going on with people with jobs. Sometimes it feels like they're just trying to manipulate somebody. I ran into that with security a lot. Like, I don't think anybody's purposely trying to manipulate, but like if you're trying to get a security job, they won't tell you who you're contracted out to until you go into an interview. Um, and a lot of times, even if they give you the job, they won't really tell you what all you have to do. But again, I'm sure part of that's um, my responsibility to ask more questions. It's just um, you kind of feel like you're at another person's mercy a lot of times when you're trying to get a job and interview, and uh, you don't want to cross anybody. You don't want anybody to think that you're difficult to work with because you are trying to get a job with them. So you try to make it look like you're just easygoing, but um, it's hard when companies do things the way they do. I just find more and more that I struggle to get enough information about a job before I go into an interview. And I'm sure you know how stressful an interview is. It's not really that easy. Um, so I try to really just get more information about about a company before I go in and what the job really is. But I know I'm not alone in this. I've seen people complain about this kind of thing on the internet, like um, people just saying things like, "Well, why do you expect me to apply at your company if you can't even tell me what the salary is?" I ran into that a lot of times. You don't even know what they're going to pay you till they go in, and I hate that whole thing where they're like, "Well, what do you want us to pay you?" Because you know it could be insulting if you say the wrong thing. So um, and then if you say something too low, they're like they'll offer you lower because you said lower. So it just feels like there's so much like irritation and complications with finding a job, and how do you be in the right place at the right time and get the exact job that you want. It just doesn't feel possible. And then a lot of times you'll get into a company and it turns into something else, and so you're like, well, I think I'd like to do something else even in the company. So you have to move in the company. I mean, um, there's just there's a lot to it that's really frustrating, I think, and that's what I'm thinking about. I'm really tired of like how employers are in general. I'm tired of the manipulation, the secrecy. It feels like. I mean, again, I don't think anybody's doing anything purposely, but you start to feel um, pretty bad about it after a while. It's just like, well, why is this happening over and over and over? And I don't know why it's so hard for people to be straightforward um, before you before you go in and talk to them. I mean, the way employers do things actually feels like it wastes their time and my time when they could do it so much easier and not waste their time. But I mean, most of it's just venting. I feel this way about a lot of things, and I don't know if it's just um, how you feel when you get older. You don't know why people do things the way they do when you've seen people do things easier. It just doesn't make sense. I guess that's how I feel about a lot of things. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up, and thank you for watching. Have a nice day.